Take care of you. I mean, the most important person in the whole world is you. A lot of times when I'm in front of my clients, whether it's an adult or a child, I'll ask them, who's the most important person here? And because they see me as an authority, they're like, well, you. I'm like, wrong answer. You are the most important person. And the minute we forget that, the minute we give someone else, we put them on a pedestal, we're putting ourselves down. Stop putting yourself down. You were created. God did not make a mistake with you or your neighbor or your cousin or that person you don't like. It still made them beautifully. They chose their actions. Somebody who's a sourpuss, they chose to be a sourpuss. Right? Somebody who's nasty, they chose that. They can change too. Give them some room.
Welcome to the edge, where vision meets the test, where faith and fire build more than just success. Every voice a story, every scar a crown. This is the place where legacies are found. The entrepreneur's edge. We rise, we reign, we run.
Welcome back to the Entrepreneur's Edge. I am so excited to have my guest, Sifu Rafael, who I have met through Connect Leader Academy, and I've actually been on many of his shows. So for those of us who love to do many, many different things, you are so going to be inspired and motivated and activated through this quick chat. I'm so happy that you're here. Hi, Sifu. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to my audience?
Thank you so much, Raquel. You are such an inspiration. Yes, you've been on my shows and I have been blessed by your presence every single time. I am Sifu Rafael. I am here to inspire everyone listening to become the best version of themselves. That's my job.
Oh, you do that so well too. And he's very, very modest. Of all the things that he does, why don't you give us a little bit about what we were talking about offline right before this podcast, that you are really passionate about helping people to reset their life with intention. What does that look like for you?
In all the years that I've been helping and training people, I've always been doing it for me as well. So it's not just do what I say and don't look at what I'm doing, but I'm doing the work myself. I've done it for myself day in, day out. So I created Sifu's Mind-Body Method, which is a system to allow people to understand that their life is something incredible. And if they live by the 7 pillars that we have in Sifu's Mind-Body Method, it will deepen their life, deepen their connection with themselves, and understand that if they take care of them, they're going to take care of everything around them, including their family.
That's so true. I think many of us grew up with this misnomer. Yes, they read the part in scripture or it says to love your neighbor, but that's not actually what it says. It says as yourself. And if you are not taking care of yourself, I mean, you'll end up burning out, having bitterness, resentment, all these things that break down because we're not taking care of ourselves. And we need to be able to do both. So that's such a beautiful way to assist people. Tell me a little bit more about what's exciting in your world around helping people to reset their life.
When we can think about the life that some people are living, maybe they're sitting on the couch and they're wanting more. Maybe they're doing a lot, but they're not doing the right things. Maybe they're not taking care of their health because they're focused on their business. So when I created Sifu's Mind-Body Method, it was for that reason alone. I even have it separate for women and for children because we forget that as parents. Listen, I'm Spanish, I'm Colombian, and I know you're Spanish, and our parents just fed us whatever, right? And it was like, just eat, be quiet, When we think about our children, we need to do something different that our parents did for us because they love us, right? Our family loves us. It's like, what do we do on Valentine's Day? Oh, I love you so much. Have some chocolate. Have this thing. Have this negative. Have this candy. Have all this sugar. So all of a sudden, we're drug dealers, and the drug of choice is sugar.
Fat and sugar, yes.
It's worse than cocaine, or
it really is.
If you see somebody shooting up some drugs, and you're like, oh, that's disgusting. And then, here, honey, have this sweet little thing I bought you. Well,
Mhm.
guess what you're pushing on that person? The same thing. But when we can say, I love you, let's take care of you, it changes the dynamic of how we start to see each other. Because my children, your children, and anybody listening to this, their children are our future. Let's take care of them. Don't give them a tablet and say, don't disturb me now. I'm busy.
Mhm.
Guess what? Why did you have children? So you can be part of their lives and they're part of yours. One of my businesses in a very expensive neighborhood, and some of the people that come are nannies.
Mm.
And I don't see the parents that much. But that changed when I changed and I said to anybody signing up for the program, it's a martial arts program. And I said, we're not child. I said, so you need to come with your child and you need to invest time with your child so you can connect with them. So
Yeah.
there's bonding that's going on because the parents are not behind a window and they're just watching in. They are part of the experience. They're the ones that are making the child their forefront, their main thing at that moment. And so the way we do it is the parents have to be in the same room. We have seating for them. But then I say to the children, now go work with your parents. The parents are like, maybe they were checking their phone and all of a sudden they have to put their phone down and they're like, okay, let's do this. They're going to punch, they're going to do this, they're going to do wrist escapes, all these different things. So now we're connecting the families and that excites me. But then what happens is we take these kids and on the way home, oh, look, you want fast food because I had a rough day and I don't want to cook. It's the choices we make along the way. If we can change that, we can impact their lives. Their little bodies are going to grow up to be big, healthy bodies or unhealthy bodies. So do we choose what our kids are going to consume or we let society decide that for us? And
Yeah.
that's what I'm passionate about. Not only for us, for you and me, how do we consume everything? Because if you imagine for everything that wants your attention, there's a string, right? There's a string here. Hey, watch me. Oh, look, fast food. Oh, look, sugar. Oh, look, cotton candy. Oh, look, popcorn. Oh, look, let's go watch Netflix. Oh, look, like, and all of a sudden, we're like a puppet. We're being pulled around, and we need to cut the strings and be in control of our own destiny, and that takes courage.
Yes, it
So,
does. And it's this whole thing about consumption. I mean, not only consumption of the food, but the things that we're consuming through our eyes, the things that we're consuming with our attention, the things we're consuming through our ears, because, we're told that you will prosper and be in health as your soul, your minds will, and emotions prosper. So there are people who, yeah, they might look really healthy on the outside, but really they're very sick. I know when I had lost a lot of weight because the doctor's like, oh, your blood sugars are really high. And so we thought it was a weight issue. Turned out it was unmanaged stress. So it wasn't weight. And everybody thought that I looked great. And I look back at those pictures. I feel like I look like a crackhead. I was very thin and my sugars were actually worse than they were when I was bigger. They were like twice as bad. They were really bad. They were out of control when I was very thin and looked healthy. But again, it's like not having that balance of like the nutritious food, being able to do things. I remember even feeling like very neurotic about counting the calories and all the food I was intaking and using things like my Fitness Pal. So it's like you have to find a way where you're feeding all the parts of you because everything is so interconnected. And as somebody who's in martial arts, you probably know that better than I do.
everything we do has a consequence. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
The way you go to sleep, if you don't sleep, and are you eating before you go to sleep? Because that's going to affect your sleep. So sleep should be sacred. This is when we can communicate with God. This is when we can communicate with who we are, who we're becoming. And so if you are having all this processed food, chemicals, all these different things, now they have to negotiate and probably hurt you in the process, but your body wants to heal because your body is this incredible machine. It wants to get rid of it. So we are detoxing while we're sleeping. Our body is working. So do we want it to work hard or do we want it to work efficiently? Right?
Mhm.
Would you run your car, and this is funny, but with the check engine light forever? Or would you say, I think I need to take care of that? And
Mhm.
so you go take care of it. If you take care of it right away, the repair cost is small. If you
Mhm.
take care of it later on, other things are going to start to get damaged, and the repair cost is big.
Yeah, it's like we
We,
get to choose, right? How much do we want to pay? We can either do the small thing now and it's a small price to pay, or ignore it, excuse it away, and later on there's going to be a harvest for it. The harvest is already showing itself. And that's one of the things of our bodies, right? God gives us our bodies to tell us something's off. Pay attention. And with me, I didn't have a lot of symptoms, or the basic ones, when I was diagnosed with diabetes. And so I was like, well, I'm not experiencing all these other things, or the thirst and the weight gain and all those other things. I didn't have any of that. But it was showing up in ways that are more not as normal. But the body's always sending a signal. Like your body's going to tell on you. And if
Mhm.
we're not doing, like you said, that's such a great analogy. It's like you're going to pay for it and we get to choose. We could pay a little bit now by making a couple of tweaks and making it easier, so that way we can have that compound interest over time in our bodies, in our psyche, and then we feel better. When we feel better, everything else starts to balance itself out. I love that. And I love that your system also has it different for women, because we do have different needs than men do. And children have different needs than men grown up to. When you were developing this, is that something that you initially came out with already, 3 different systems, or did that develop over time?
That developed in me first, right? I was I was the I was the test monkey, if you will, right? Because one of the things that we don't do is associate food with illness, and a lot of people don't take the time to understand, how is this food making me feel? How is this movement making me feel? Is it good? Is it bad? So one of the things I teach my clients all over is talk to your food. Ask your food, how are you going to treat me? What are you going to do to this gift that God gave me? And so many of us, we go for emotions at the wrong. So there's a lot of people in the world who blame their emotions for the way they eat. I'm an emotional eater. When I get tired, I have to eat. I just have to chill and eat. So we're eating to satisfy something that we're not addressing, our
Mhm.
emotions. Am I sad? Oh, I better eat something. I better have some ice cream, some brownies, some cookies. Or why am I sad?
Yeah.
Let me deal with that. And let me eat to nourish this incredible, beautiful machine. And it's not about, do I want to look like him or like her or this? No, it's what do I want my insides to look like? Do I want them healthy? Do I want to be able to live a life where I'm not concerned about having to take all this medication all the time? But because my actions will, maybe if I am on medication, listen, medicine is good if it's working, but should we stay on it? Is there a way that we can heal our body with any disease based on how we treat our body? And
Mhm.
that's the number one ingredient that we have to constantly put in front of us. How is this food going to heal me or hurt me? But we don't have that discussion, because it would be weird if I'm at a restaurant, I'm about to eat this meal, and I'm like, will you treat me right? It's right. But you do that when you're ordering at a restaurant
Mhm.
and it looks like, oh, I'm going to have all these pastas. I was just at an Italian restaurant, all these pastas, all these things. What did I choose? I did choose steak. And with the steak, the staple is a mashed
Potatoes. Oh,
yes, yes,
it's an American thing, right? For
it
those of you who are
is.
watching
It
outside
is.
America, steak and
Even at an
potatoes.
Italian
And
restaurant.
I'm in the Midwest, so even more so.
Oh, absolutely. But here's the thing. So meat and potatoes, it's a staple of the American diet. But what if we had the meat and a vegetable? It did come with one vegetable. So I said to the waiter, instead of the potatoes, can you make it two vegetables? He goes, you don't want the mashed potatoes? They're really good. He's trying to convince me. I said, well, I try to make fun of it. So I said, hang on a minute. I'm trying to keep my girlish figure. Makes him laugh. And then he goes, so I said, no, I'll take the two vegetables. And so I try to make a little bit light of it. And then somebody goes, what'd you just say? So now the person next to me is going to be saying something, or the people around me go, "What do you mean, you girlish figure? You already look great." I said, "I know, and I want to continue to have this body because every action that I take, it's either going to make it better or it's going to destroy everything I've been working for."
And that's the thing is like, yes, you are free to make the decisions. And I tell people, you can do what you want because you're grown, but
Right.
but we are not free from are the consequences of our decisions. So you can do whatever you want. You're free to do so as a grown person and a free moral agent.
That's right.
But there's always a consequence. And we really don't think about it. I think it's one of those things that has been coming to mind lately for me the last few weeks, that God loves our bodies so much that he decided to live in it.
Right.
And that he loves it so much that he's planning to resurrect them and even give us new ones, right? Because this is a temple. When we think about like doing things for like churches or temples and, you know, places of worship, we'll go to those places and clean it up and make it look pristine and make it look beautiful and inviting. But we don't do that for where God lives. You know, we invite him in and then we treat the temple like trash.
That's right.
He's like, I live here. So of course God wants you healthy. Of course he wants you healed. Of course he wants you well because he lives there. It's like, that's my house. What are you doing?
Mhm. That's right.
And so doing that really is an act of worship and praise. When you start really having that mentality, like, oh wait, this is an act of worship. It's an act of praise. It's an act of gratitude. Being grateful for, like, I get to carry the presence of God wherever I am. And, you know, I can do something to make that a longer experience for me.
That's right.
This side of heaven. And there was something else you said that was just like, oh, no, I didn't write the note down. I might have to write it down in the notes when I watch this again. But there's something else you said. I was like, oh yeah, and this too. It'll come back to me. And then when it does, I just put it down in the descriptions or
Thank
I'll
you.
comment it below because it was good. I was like, ooh, yeah, that. And it made me think of something. But I was so intrigued in what you're saying. I didn't write any notes down. I was
That's
like,
okay. You know, sometimes it's okay because, and anybody else who's either watching this or not, you're saying what I'm saying. If it doesn't trigger you, what are we doing, right? The reason we're having this conversation is because I think that you asked me to be in it, I asked you to be in it, and we both collaborated. But the real guide for us to connect today is God. And this conversation is because you believe in God so much, and I believe in God so much that he needed us to talk about the belief that we have and the impact that we can have in the world if we do right by us. And so we can explore how our own actions help the world. So we have to listen to it many times. You may even have to download this and listen to it a couple of times. One may not be enough.
Yeah, agreed. It's like those things where like, oh, when you revisit those conversations, you learn something different. And it was just me more confirmation and conviction of like, yeah, I started a new exercise regimen and I've been feeling better. And that's the thing. There is this quote by Danny Johnson, she's retired now, but I remember this quote from her. She said, the worst thing about success is a little bit.
I like that.
Because that's what happens, right? We have a little bit of success, we're feeling better, and then then we start slipping back into the habits that were not really bringing life back into our life. And if we can just make one little change, and that's what I would love to close close with, your thoughts around what can people do today to start to really live their life with intention, especially when it comes to their own health and their own healing physically, because it does really impact everything. You know, if we're not feeling good, we can fake it in the moment for a little bit, but
Mhm.
that that is not sustainable. So what's your advice for people to have a sustainable lifestyle where they are purposely really thinking about it? Oh, that was the thing, I remember now. So when you were talking about the food,
Mhm.
so I remember a couple people that came to mind. One said that before she eats, she kind of like basically talks to the food, like what, or to her body, what do you want to eat right now?
Mhm. Yeah.
And then she uses her body almost like a pendulum, like, it's like leaning, like, oh, am I eating this today? Am I eating that today? It's like, what's going to make you feel better? Another person does, oh, I forgot what it was called, when you're like asking questions and you're like pushing your hand down, to using your own body like a yes or no thing,
Yeah.
lever,
Yeah. Love it.
to help you tune into your body. Is like, what's going to make you feel like healthy? What's going to make you feel vibrant? What are the things that you're craving for nutritionally? Like having this conversation with your body. Like, that sounds weird. Like you're having a conversation with another person. Yes, because it has its own mechanisms.
Right.
It knows your body
Mhm.
picks up a lot. So it's like looking in the fridge going, which parts of the salads am I going to build today? What are you in the mood for?
I think that if we go back to sugar for a second, and then I'll answer your question. You put sugar in your body's going to want more. It's going to want more, and it's going to want more, and it's going to want more. And all of a sudden, you're like a crack addict. It's just not crack. We call it something nice. We call it sugar. And the food industry has learned so many different ways of hiding the name sugar. It's over like 300 different ways that they hide the name, and they call it this and there's that. It's all sugar. So when we can stop allowing someone else to tell us what to put in our body, and we align ourselves with our spirituality, when we align ourselves with our God-given talents, we're unstoppable. We're unstoppable. So to your question, what can somebody do today, right now, pen and paper, and write down your intentions? What do I want to do today? How am I going to live my day? And you do that. That's called journaling. What did I do? What did I eat? How did I eat it? Take a picture. You have a phone, take a picture. Here's the thing, right? I know you understand AI. Take a picture, go to your chat GPT and say, how beneficial is this? What are the nutritional values in this meal? Or take one item. I have this here, not because I'm selling it, right? Because of the things in the back of it that hurt us. And meanwhile, this thing talks about, I don't want to give them the name away, but it says essential energy accelerates metabolism and burns body fat. What they don't tell you is that it also kills your enamel on your teeth. Oh, look at that. And it's healthy for you. So the thing is, if it can do that to your teeth, what's it doing to your gut? So look at everything in your life, because your life is worth more. We work so hard at our jobs. Hopefully, some of us do. Some people just they try to hide in the corner and make believe they're working and they're not. But those people who go to work, who have a career, who have a path, who own their own business, who are C-level suite, whatever it is that you're doing, own your life, own it. You want to progress with your career, your business, but you're leaving the most important aspect out. It is you. Journal, write it down, ask the questions. And if you really want to go deep, join my program. I'm not trying to plug myself, but
Plug it.
what? It's a no brainer because I've done the work. It's a 90-day program. And in 90 days, we're going to change your life. Once again, would you pay your mechanic now to take care of the problems that you may face tomorrow, and so that you're safe? Most people, they go to their mechanic before they take a road trip. Maybe they're going across country, or they're going to go visit their aunt. It's 9 hours away, so they want to make sure that their oil is changed, their brakes are working, all that. That comes at a price. But what's the price if you get broken down in a neighborhood you don't know at the wrong time, and now you have to maybe get it towed You have to pay for a hotel room until it gets fixed, or you have to get a rental. So now the expenses go up. So
Yeah.
this is why we take preemptive action today. The first tip I'm going to tell you is journal, 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 write it down. What did I eat? How much water did I drink? All of these things, they're going to change your life dramatically.
I love that because when we, and I'm a big proponent now of journaling, even from a like acting like a scientist, you're gathering data and you need to see the patterns. If you don't write it down, if you're not, and I love that. That's so brilliant to use ChatGPT. You take a picture, you give it to her. It's like, okay, tell me about this. If I continue to keep on eating this way with all my meals, what is the potential that can happen to my body? And then you're seeing it. So journaling is great, whatever way you want to do it, whether it's on your phone, your app, ChatGPT, but you're looking for patterns. You need a pattern interruption. And unless you're looking at it, you have to confront it. What's not confronted is not change. And so that's a brilliant thing to journal it. Brilliant for you to be like, oh, you can also use ChatGPT because I love using AI. And sometimes I already have like 4 different journals I'm working because they're all for different things. So I'm like, oh, I can use that for chat because then that can even create, right? Like this chart for you, like, oh my gosh, what am I actually doing to my body? You're doing it not only to your body, to yourself. We want all our days. We want to end our days strong and long.
That's right.
Is there anything else you would like to share before we finish up?
Take care of you. I mean, the most important person in the whole world is you. A lot of times when I'm in front of my clients, whether it's an adult or a child, I'll ask them, who's the most important person here? And because they see me as an authority, they're like, well, you. I'm like, wrong answer. You are the most important person. And the minute we forget that, the minute we give someone else, we put them on a pedestal, we're putting ourselves down. Stop putting yourself down. You were created. God did not make a mistake with you or your neighbor or your cousin or that person you don't like. He still made them beautifully. They chose their actions. Somebody who's a sourpuss, they chose to be a sourpuss. Right? Somebody who's nasty, they chose that. But they can change too. Give them some room. Maybe they will. A lot of times people only change because of the actions you take. The hardest thing is for anybody to be in a relationship and one person changes and the other one doesn't. I'm talking for the better. And the other one doesn't. They try to pull them back in. Come on down. Why are you getting better? Why? Come on down. Let's stay here with me. It's comfortable. Sit on the couch with me. Why are you going to go work out today? What are you doing? Why are you eating that? Oh, why do you want to eat a salad? Why are you eating? Oh my God, what is this health kick you're in? That's going to be a fad. And it usually is because diets don't work. That's why I created Sifu's Mind Body Method. It's not a diet. It's a method.
Yeah, I love that because then I like to follow a system so that we're like, you don't know what you don't know. And if you're trying to get healthy, if you want to stay healthy and not become neurotic like I did when I was trying to count everything, then you want to connect with Sifu. Sifu, what is the best way for people to connect with you? I know I'm going to have some information in the show notes, but for those who are listening right now.
Sure, easy. My name is Sifu Rafael.com. Easy, I don't hide. So SIFURAFAEL.com. And there you can look up Sifu's Mind Body Method as well. But here's the thing, I'm all over social media. Look me up and I will be there. And if you ever want to have a conversation, my mission in life is every morning I wake up and I ask God to guide my day. I thank him for the gifts he's given me. And then I ask him to give me the strength to be able to share my gifts that he's given me with the world. So my mission is to help as many people as I possibly.
Well, you're doing a fantastic job of that because really we are to be stewards of every good thing that he's given us, all the gifts. And our body is a gift he's given us. So we need to start taking that seriously as to steward our bodies well. Well, this has been an amazing conversation. Thank you so much for stopping by with me. And until next time, thank you for hanging out with us at Entrepreneur's Edge. We'll see you on the other side. Bye for now.
Welcome to the edge, where vision meets the test, where faith and fire build more than just success. Every voice